Go ahead and say that one more time.
Yo, I wonder if I can bring you up on my phone and I can go outside and show you this car I'm looking at.
Did you just buy it?
I got it for a customer.
You just bought it?
Yeah.
Who was that for?
Oh, wow. I got you up on my phone right here. Can you hear me? Oh. I'm gonna walk outside and show it to you.
So it switches the phone. The phone switches over to the computer. Switches to the phone.
Yeah, it looks like it's got all three of us, man. You see that?
Oh,
so
yeah.
If I can bring up two cameras, why can't we bring up two people?
We can. You don't want. You never wanted to do that because the people didn't have the technology.
Is that what you're saying? That I didn't want to do it,
dude? I haven't. Remember we had this call. Anyway, man, I ain't messing with you, man. Ronnie, the guy in the car with the bad phone. Remember we didn't want to. We were kind of hesitant with that. Anyway, what you got?
This is a 2018 Audi Q3.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a nice car, man. Big old panoramic sunroof. Yeah. So, watch what the mirror's doing when you lock the car.
I couldn't see it good. I need a wide view. All I see is a window.
You don't see the top?
Oh, yeah.
It's all good, man. I'll turn this off and go back to my to my desk.
So what's the story on that?
It's just what I do, man.
Story. Huh?
All right, so customer calls in. They're ready to lease another car. I prepare everything, get the car, get the numbers put together, and then she'll pick it up at 2:30. It's just that easy.
That easy. Did she test drive it?
No.
How did you do that? Let me see if I can figure that out. Did you go to Google Hangouts?
Yeah, I just joined it and it was on my phone. And then I just turned it back off when I got to my desk.
Let me see. So you're on here too. Go ahead and talk.
Yeah, you got to get away from your computer or you got to mute your computer. Yeah, now I can see you. Yeah.
Oh, I like that one.
I like it.
I like that.
Yeah, so I can use that when I want to walk over to my whiteboard.
You could be like, da 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 da. Let's go here, class.
Come on in, class. Let's go check it out.
Yeah, this is how we're gonna do when we interview people. I hope this is what I wanted to do.
All they gotta do is join the conversation, right? And then it'll go with whoever's talking.
That's what I was hoping with your finance guy. That was my vision.
Okay.
All right. So today we were welcome class. It's Friday. Unfortunately, I'm still sick, but I still get an opportunity to hang out with my world-class brother that is a car dealer. Been doing it since the 1990s. Ronnie Haskins, good morning.
What's up, Christopher Haskins? I am Ronnie Haskins, and yes, I'm a lot older than you. I've been doing the car thing since they had green machines.
So today we wanted to talk about why we chose the industries we chose. Is that where we're at?
I just wanted to ask you a few questions. Literally.
I like those things, man. Why did you do that's some deep stuff. I feel like we're in brain surgery though, Ronnie. Today I hung out with a company. I'm gonna be interviewing a guy soon. He owns a bed and breakfast in town.
Yeah.
Older couple, they gotta be in their 60s, Ronnie, man, but just dropping so much wisdom, dog.
You gotta soak it all in, man.
Do you hang out with people older than you?
Yes, I sure do. I try to listen to them. I was at the car wash today and this dude, I was like, how's life treating you? And this older guy was like, better than I deserve. And I was like, that's the best answer you could have given me.
Right. That's cool. So what you got for us today?
All right, class. So I don't know about you guys, but Chris is my baby brother, and I've got some questions for him. So let's not even worry about it. Let's just get right into it. I got 3 questions today for you. You ready?
Let's do it.
First question I have was, I don't understand. I don't know these answers. And you being my brother, I feel like I should know these answers. When did you realize you wanted to do real estate, and what was the catalyst?
All right. When? Great question, dog. I wrote a book about it, actually.
I have not read it, Chris. I'm sorry. I need to get that.
Neither has my wife.
I don't feel bad there.
You know what? I'm gonna be very candid. You write a fucking book, you come home, your wife, hey, what's that? I did it. She's like, did the rent come in today? And Taylor's gonna do this. I'm like,
that's life.
I'm an author. I'm number 1 on Amazon. So I'm sure you can feel my candidness when I say that.
Yes, sir. I feel you.
Thank you for making me feel better, man. I'm having a rough past few days.
Well, let me share that with the class while you gather your thoughts, because I've had the same stuff. It's like, hey, I got a bunch of deals, and we did a video class. We did a video on this called "Nobody's Gonna Believe in Your Dream But You." It's not their job to believe in your dream. I got the book done. Where to rent? Be responsible for your own dream, class. And own it. And don't worry about it. Don't let that get you down, because that's real. 100. Cash flow quadrant.
It all goes back to this, Ron. For me, when did I realize real estate, dude? I made. I shared with you a little of my experience in music.
Yes.
So we got our first check was $200,000. We were getting $100,000 every 6 months for doing nothing. It was coming in. I'm like looking at, IRS is on my back because I ain't never had this much capital, and I'm trying to figure out how to do all that stuff. I'm like, I got thrusted from this side. Okay, if you don't know, class, this is the cash flow quadrant: employee, self-employed, investor, business owner. This is how cash flows. And I hate that the majority of my life is boiled down to financing, Ronnie, because you can have a nice, successful, fulfilling life over here, dude.
Yeah, you sure can. Yeah, don't forget it. That's right.
Man, I'm like, I was happy over here, but when I realized that no matter what I did, at the end of the day, all of my capital, all the stuff that I worked for 7 years in the music business till I got my first big check, it all left. So at the end of the day, to make this short, Ronnie, we got those checks coming in. I'm flying around the world. We're doing the Africa thing in London, doing all that crap.
Yeah.
Spending money on drinking, drugging, and doing all that stuff. Hotels around the country, Miami, LA, the whole crap. Billboard Music Awards. I went broke.
Yeah.
I went broke. And it didn't matter how much I made, because it all was flowing out of the window. So I looked back, and my boy Shannon pulled my coattail. He introduced me to this. Shannon, I miss you. I don't know where you at. You disappeared on me. Guy I went to Hampton with. I'm like, music industry, you can get publishing, which is passive income, but it still goes like this. It gets lower over time.
Right.
But in my opinion, man, I just don't know any other industry you can get into where it literally just goes like this.
Real estate.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, I like to present it to anybody. What other industry goes up without you doing anything?
Okay. That's a good answer. So what was the catalyst, though? Like, you were tired of it, but what was the catalyst? Like, I remember when I was thinking about leaving the dealership and becoming a broker, the catalyst for me was, I had a job lined up to become a sales manager or be a broker and be broke for a long time. But I could see the writing on the wall. I was like, I really don't want to go do this anymore.
What did that look like for you? You talking about the sales guy, the guy that works every day? The sales manager.
Manager, right.
He's the guy behind tell our viewers that don't know what a sales manager is. Tell them, what does he look like?
He looked like me. I mean, so the sales manager I mean, I would be there all the time. The job started at like 15,000 a month. You know, it was a lot of money, but you trade money for time.
What is he doing in the dealership?
In the dealership, basically, I'm responsible for managing the salespeople and making sure that the deals get closed and the profit margin of the dealership, you know, on every single car deal. So that was going to be my job. And I thought about it, Chris, but here's the thing. I was like, man, I'm starting to lose time in block to 10. And so locking in at 15,000 a month, you know, forever. I was like, man, I'm never going to get out. I'm going to be here every Saturday, every holiday, you know, we got the Martin Luther King special going on. You know, we got all this stuff. I was never going to do it, never going to get out. And so that's when I decided I didn't want to do that anymore.
Wow, yeah. Holy cow. So you were able to forecast your future. You didn't see yourself. You saw a different future for yourself than they did.
Yeah. I mean, they just wanted me to trade my money for my time. Give me money for my time. And so I grew very weary of that. I was like, I don't want to be here forever. You know?
Wow.
And I didn't love it. I didn't love it, Chris. I didn't love that I couldn't help you. So I had to sell you or you had to get out. That's the way it was.
Yeah, that's real garbage.
What was your catalyst? Like, you were doing the music thing. What made you decide, all right, I'm done?
When I went broke, man. I had $80. I was down to $80. This is my number in my head. It's burned in my head. I remember going to but don't forget, I'm the producer, record guy around town everywhere I go. Hey, the guy. My studio's plush. I got all the new what at the time was something called Pro Tools.
Yeah.
Pro Tools is like for you. It's like the Microsoft Word of the music business.
Okay.
So Pro Tools, if you had Pro Tools, nobody had it. You know, we had it. We were rocking and rolling. You know, Dr. Dre had mixed down Wangster, so we had a little street credibility on that. My boy Jay Praise, I don't know if he's out there. He was banging out beats. He was from Queens. I'm flying up to New York every week.
Wow.
Shit's crazy, dog. I'm like, man, I came home. I'll never forget. It was Christmas Eve. Somebody broke into my Honda.
Oh.
And I had $80 to my name, dude. I'm like, you know what? I don't have it here. I started reading. I'm like, I figured out how dumb I was.
Okay.
You know? So after that, I'm like, $80. You really are who you think you are. You can portray who you are. I think Mark Twain has this something. You can't show if a man has two faces, one eventually is gonna come out.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, I'm done. I can't do music no more. It's a destructive lifestyle. I'm gonna have a productive lifestyle.
Okay. Oh, that's great.
For me, yeah. I'm happy for that. That's a good one for you too, though, man. You know, both of us have. Honestly, man, I think for me, I had to hit rock bottom. How was it for you?
It was tough, man. Like, so when I started doing this, I didn't make any money. You know, we didn't even have a way to print paperwork. You know, it was basically handwriting. I would be in the car going to pick up a car. I have drivers now. You know, I had all these different types of things. It was super hard, but I saw the future. I was like, if I put in the work, I will reap the rewards down the line. I mean, I don't know why I saw it. I don't know why. I can't tell you why.
I think you saw it because I still think both of us got the Lynchburg Foundry back here a little bit.
Work. Work. Grind.
Did people ever ask you about Bill Hopkins?
No. Who's that?
He's a plant manager at down in Mount Athos.
I know that, well, they closed that down, but I know they wanted to fire me. I would follow it. So we would take a break. You know, I worked 11 to 7, 11 at night to 7 in the morning. And so when we took our little breaks, the old guys would have to kick me because I'd be laying on the curb asleep like 3 in the morning. And they would kick me and be like, come on, boy, get back in there. And I was like, I had to put my hard hat on and go back in there. Oh, man, dude.
Ryan, that's called adversity, man. You cannot buy that anywhere in the world.
No, man, that was the most adverse job I think I ever had in my life.
Adversity.
I mean,
you can't take that out of your head and put it into Jude's head. Or, you know, I can't take that. I wish I could, you know.
I know what you're saying.
You can't. They're like, man, Dad, you just work. Why you get up so early? Why you work so hard? You're like, dude, if you only had a clue.
You want to grind castings or you want to go to work today?
Tell people about when you came home, Ronnie, the condition of your body and how you would tell us about that whole, give us a picture of that.
So we wore a mask because I don't know if you guys know what a grinder is. It's a handheld spinning piece of machinery. And I would have thousands of castings about this big. They were camshafts. For all you gearheads, they were camshafts. So they go through the liquid metal is poured and it goes into a mold and it closes it up and then it opens and the camshafts fall out. And they have a fin on them. They have a metal fin around them that has to be hand grinded off. So I'm standing there with gloves on, a hard hat, steel toe boots. I'm on a damn conveyor belt, man. I mean, like, I'm not making it up. You know, the only time you would see a conveyor belt class is at the grocery store. When you set your crap on the groceries and it moves, I stood by one all day long with they would bring a forklift cage full of castings, drive it over, like 1.5 million castings in there. And I'd have to reach in and grab them and put them on the belt and grind the fin off for 11 to 7. How many hours is that? 9 hours?
8.
8 hours. 8 hours. And I would get home. Chris, I'd fall asleep in the car. So I'd park in the parking lot when I got home. And Dad would wake me up because I'd turn the car off and I'd just be like this in the car. Just sleep. And I was only 16. You know? Those guys are like 50 and 60 years old doing it. I was like 16.
But tell me about, I want to, class, we're going to get to some Q&A at the end. But you have to share these stories. This is what made Ronnie and I this today. Ronnie, when you went to take a shower, when you got home, I want to know, tell me about that.
Oh, you're talking about when I got in the shower and Dad used to be like, you need the extra towel out there. I'm like, oh, man. Like, you get in the shower, guys, and it was like black oil just going down the tub. It was like, because you're grinding metal and the metal pieces are floating in the air. That's why you wear the mask. And I'm sure that foundry is responsible for the death of a lot of people because they just breathe it in for 30 years.
Black lung is what they called it.
Black lung. Yeah, man. They just coughing all the time and black stuff. And so that was a really brutal job. And our mother and father sent us there on purpose. They were like, y'all are going to work at the foundry. And then she still asked me today, you remember when I sent you down there? Did you ever go back, honey? I'm like, I never went back. Like that, the fear. So I know you're going like the fear. Like you're like, I got to grind this out. I got to make a record. I got to buy a house because that fear of going back to the foundry.
Oh, my Lord.
That was real, dude. I was like, I don't want to do that again.
Well, we talk about lowest points. My brother and I have been to our lowest points is damn near before we left home.
Yeah.
Before we left the house, we were working, and Ronnie, you were falling asleep coming home. I had to be there. I had to clock in at 6. So I had to leave the house at 5.
I was also homeless before I started being a broker, though. I was like, dude, so check, do you know, like, you were like, like when I went and interviewed and got this job back in 98, before I bought the company, before I helped build the business, before I did all that, I was homeless. And so I walked in the day I interviewed for this job. I put my suit on. I showered in the communal shower area, and I got myself clean and went and interviewed and landed this job. Had no place to live.
Adversity, my brother. Adversity. Holy cow. Well, I think people just too fancy nowadays. They don't want to give it all up.
I think it's more than that. I think they want it before they even work for it. Like, what do you mean give it up? They never had it. You know what I'm saying? I think they want everything with doing very little. Like you're looking at the cash flow quadrants. What can you do that you don't have to apply your body to make money? They want that right away, but they need to experience that $80 in their pocket before they do anything. That's why when you were always teaching, you're always telling them, like even me, you're like, I want you to do your first deal broke, no money. You know, do it with no money. And I'm hell bent on doing my first deal with no money.
Yeah. It's the only way you're going to learn, man. The only way you learn this business is to make money without money. It just doesn't work like that.
Are you ready for question 2?
Yeah, hit it, man.
How long did it take you to get good at what you do? You know, and what I'm saying is How long did it take you to get good? Like when you realized, okay, I can make money at this. Like you knew you were making money being a producer. You just didn't like the industry. And you thought, okay, I'm just going to stay broke doing this. But how long, when you started doing the real estate, did it take you to realize I'm really good at this?
Okay. Before I get into that, let me just give you a quick sentence. The industry has changed thanks to the internet. So the industry is nothing like it was when I was in it, you know. Now music, you can do it on your own and get published on YouTube, control your own publishing.
Okay.
But I thought, yeah, I still don't even think I'm good, really, right? I mean, I think I'm blessed, and I know some people that are good. I don't have the mindset that I'm actually good. I mean, I'm more blessed. But it took me several years, dude. I mean, when I was in '04, I think it took me about 6 years to realize that, you know, I look back. Matter of fact, I was looking at some of the houses that I bought. I can't even remember them, right? I'm looking at, I'm like, damn, we did this house. It took me 6 years.
Yeah. Okay.
6 years.
Did you ever?
Good.
Did you ever have a point where you're like, I should quit? I'm not gonna make it.
Oh, that's every day. Every day. I wake up. I told my wife this every day, Ronnie. I have to convince myself that I am a master real estate investor. I didn't tell you that.
That's crazy because that's how I feel too. Like I was standing outside today and I was talking about the Audi deal or whatever. And Judy's like, you're really good at this. And I was like, am I? I think that's the edge. You know, I just got that edge. It's like, I'm always looking for a way to get better from where I'm at now. Like technology. I don't know if you noticed, I sent you my new website. I'm updating the website. I'm doing this. I'm doing YouTube. You know, it's like,
you're on it.
Never ending.
It is never ending, but I think you and I live in a world where that is life, as opposed to trying to get to a certain level and you've made it. You know, we live for, once again, for me, I'm always running from the foundry. I'm just like, don't put me back at the shipyard grinding parts or at the foundry. You know, I would rather die than do that. But I think we live, and I hope our viewers can understand that we're not saying that we're better or worse. We do this, you do that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we have accepted the fact that the grind is life.
I embrace it. It's like, I feel like I was talking to you about real life stuff here, class. So my financial planner was like, we're going to sell a couple of properties and pay off the mortgage that you have on your house. And I'm like, wow. And then I'm like, what am I going to do for an edge? You know what I mean? Like, what am I going to do to keep myself motivated? Like I've always had, and bills are due, you know, like all the time.
It's always never ending, man. But you know what, Ronnie? I think
around it.
Huh? What?
Me and you talked about it. I'm keeping the houses. I'm just going to keep them.
Yeah, what are you going to do, dude? It's like you're trading 6 for half a dozen. I mean,
I need the pressure, man.
You have to have something else. You can't wake up and be like, I'm not going to do nothing today.
I know. I'm like, that scares me. Like, I think I'll get sick and die because I need to be able to be chasing something, doing something, building something, or I'm going to get sick. Like, because have you thought about that too? Like, seriously, like, even if we go on a trip, I'll be working. Like, okay, I'm working the deal, man. It's like,
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. If someone you know what, my mentor, Ron LeGrand, says the same thing. He's like, dude, if I'm not at work, I'm at home thinking about work.
Yeah. You know when I get my best ideas? When I'm asleep. I will wake up and be like, oh, man, I got to write that down. I'm like, I got great ideas when I sleep, man. I'm like,
you better. Well, you know, that is nothing but your subconscious mind, the universe and God talking to you through your subconscious mind so you can fulfill it.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool, man.
All right. So the next question, the last one is, what has been your greatest obstacle to being successful out of your entire real estate time? The last 15 years, what's the biggest obstacle you have to overcome or still overcoming?
You know what? I had to, excuse me, class, still not there yet. I had to get over the fact, I heard this saying when I was a kid, man. Only thing that is constant is change. Only thing that is constant, and it's almost like an oxymoron because change is not constant. So it's like I have to get over the fact that I have to always be looking for the next thing, or what am I doing tweaking this? I never understood until I got maybe 3-4 years ago, like Okay. You
Yeah.
can't do the same shit over and over the same way. You know, you can't do, if you're doing rental properties, you might want to look into lease options. You can't do marketing paper. You might want to start doing phone marketing or whatever it could be.
Opening your mind to different opportunities.
I hate it, man. I still don't like it to this day. I have a lot of resistance towards it. But that's been my biggest thing because I don't like to change. I want to just do, I want to go put my little money in the slot machine. You know, I just want to, we all have that tendency.
Yeah, I do too. I get comfortable in my own little world. And so I think that's my biggest challenge is right here, opening up my mind to new possibilities, opportunities, hiring more people. And I'd say that's like the biggest obstacle for me is employee. Producing employees not that are fixed costs, but employees that are variable costs. Like they actually add to the bottom line. They are producers. You know, they're making money for the business and for themselves.
Yeah.
And to develop that talent. So developing talent, I think if I boiled it down, it would be developing talent. Me developing other talent is my biggest obstacle and ongoing.
So you're
Right.
saying, is it developing them or duplicating them to be like you?
Well, I spent the last 18 years trying to duplicate myself, and I've realized that I am the worst person on the planet to duplicate. I think here's the answer: you can't duplicate yourself. You can't do it. You know.
Well, we'll say that you and I haven't either. But I'm saying you're entrepreneurs. It's like saying duplicating Jeff Bezos. I mean, you really can't do that.
Exactly. And so I've been stuck in that mindset for a long time of I'm gonna duplicate myself. They're gonna love it just like me. They're gonna love this. You know, that's not true. They all have different motivators. You know, some of them is money, some of them is time, some of it's that they wear a hat to the office. You know, so I think that's a big deal for me. So I've made this goal for 2019 is to develop at least 3 salespeople, like develop them to the point where they don't even need me by the end of 19. Yeah. And that's an obstacle that I'm trying to achieve.
I think a big problem with entrepreneurs, and I don't know about you, but we gravitate, like you and I could just talk about business all day, you know.
Yeah.
But we tend to work with people that think like us, and sometimes it doesn't work out good.
Yeah.
As opposed to hiring people that want to do the few things and go home and they want to just develop their skill. We want them to develop our skill.
I understand. I'm still struggling with it.
Me too, man. Me too, brother. Matter of fact, I've read several books about it. You know, so don't work with people only that are just like you.
Okay. Well, that was the 3 questions I had, bro.
Yeah, that's a good one. Let's see if we got some Q&A. Who can we help? Who can we serve? I think we should have like an incubator, Ronnie, where people are bringing ideas in and shit.
Hey, man, I'm always game for helping, man. If somebody can make some money or learn to open their mind to the possibility of making some money, that'd be awesome.
I'm saying like do what I like a mini Shark Tank, but I don't want to be killing people. I'm like, listen, man, Danny, TB, hey, Cherie, what's up? Any questions? What Q&A you got, Rosanna? Rosanna is just a wonderful supporter. Thank you, Callie.
Hey, Rosanna.
You get your home list. You are getting. Rosanna's doing an assisted living facility. I like to do. Yeah, I would like to learn more about that too.
Yeah, she's built. Is she building one?
She didn't say. She's just getting it set up. She says. Williams, you work in residential management. I bet you got Williams. You should write a book about that. You probably have a lot of crap. Sarah says, buy your house from me and buy your car from Ronnie. That'd be cool.
Live.
Oh, Cherie, Michael, yeah. I think that's it. Candy Val, just here. If you need my docs, just send me an email. ChrisBozHouses@gmail. If you need any docs, just send me an email, Candy Val. Candy Val. All right, Ronnie, what's your final thoughts for today, my brother?
We all come from somewhere. I think just asking you today, you know, peering into your mind about how you had the catalyst to start doing real estate and then how long it took you to get good at it. And the questions I was talking about is magical, man. I hope people understand it's not easy. It's not, you know, it's not something that just falls out of the trees. No get rich quick scheme. So find something you love.
Find something you love.
And get good at it.
Yeah, good at it. That's a good one. I heard that one before too. I was hanging out with that couple today, man, and they were saying the exact same thing.
Yeah.
They're like, it's not easy. I don't know, man. It's not easy.
If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, man. Sometimes I just feel like, man, I shouldn't. I'm just like that dude I saw at the car wash today. I'm like, I'm blessed farther more than I deserve. You know, I can go get cars for people and get paid to do it, and it feels like it's easy to me. It's amazing.
Yeah. What I will say though, Ronnie, I will say if we had to start today, I think it would be a little easier based on all the access that we have.
Yeah.
What do you think?
If I was just starting out today with like ground zero, no bills, but all the knowledge and access that I have now, oh man, it would be a whole new ball game.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have. Yeah, I'm just thinking back. You started before the internet.
Yes. You realize I was talking to the new salespeople. That's a good one, man. Because when I'm training the salespeople, I'm like, look. She goes, well, how do I tell the customer what color the cars are? I'm like, oh yeah. Well, let me tell you how I did it. I went dealer to dealer to dealer and collected. You remember what a brochure is?
Wow.
It's a brochure would have swatches, little color swatches in it. I had a big library in my office. And so I'm like, Chris, you looking at a S17 RAV4? Let me go get the brochure. And then I bring it up and show you the little color pieces. I'm like, you salespeople have it a little differently. All you got to do is like talking to your phone. Bring up the colors of the RAV4.
Wow.
You know?
Wow. Unreal, man.
It's your business too, right? The internet's made yours easier.
Well, as I've listened to Steve Harvey, right, talking about don't be scared to reinvent yourself. He reinvented himself a few times before he turned into this guy here, you know.
Yeah.
And now I see myself more of a published, dealing with information, still doing real estate, which is cool. I mean, the real estate's on autopilot, but I see more of back in the day, you'd have to write a book before the internet, right? If you
Yeah.
wanted to be published, you have to write a book and it'd be in Barnes and Noble, whatever.
Yeah.
Now, I tell you, I was walking through the airport the other day, man. People are just wanting to shake my hand. It's so cool, right? It's like you're published now. So, but you can have an effect on so many more people to bring them up. You know, it's like it's more fulfilling to touch more people to help as opposed to real estate where I'm just dealing with wood and bricks and siding. You know, I mean, it's no fun. I've seen every house. You know,
that's one of the most funny things you ever said. Oh yeah, tell me all about your house. Let me guess. 4 walls, bricks, stove, and a sink.
I'm sure it's you the same too, Ronnie. It's got 2 or 4 doors.
Yeah, everybody. You ain't never seen a car like mine. I'm like, yeah, bring it in. Let me see it. Oh yeah, it's got 4 tires. It's blue, and it starts up. Okay.
It's the same thing, right? It's a car.
It's a car. At the end of the day, it's a car.
Do you find this more fulfilling than I mean, rubber? I mean, yeah, rubber and metal.
Nah, man. Well, you mean like what we're doing? Yes, absolutely. Like this is where I'm going for the next decade. Like I'm gonna still do the car thing. I'm looking for other streams of income. I'm looking to do some real estate transactions with you in Colorado, in Virginia. I'm looking to do other things because I think I'm looking to be fulfilled. Like you're right. It's like, yeah, I can do this in my sleep. I mean, all the paperwork and stuff. I mean, it's just like I have never a problem I can't find an answer in this business.
Yeah. But I think this is the new publishing. I'm telling you, class, I'm gonna be back on with my attorney at around 3 o'clock. But tonight I'm gonna probably get on a little bit. I want you guys to know that what you're looking right now is publishing, class. This is it.
I believe you.
Yeah, Ryan, I showed you the numbers. I don't want to discuss the numbers, but you've seen the numbers, and I'm like, you know, it's weird, Ryan. I bumped into a guy at the training. Rosanna, thank you for your love offering.
Thank you, Rosanna.
We love you. We love
Thank
you.
you.
Ryan, you know what's weird, brother? I see you. You got introduced to this, exposed to it, let's say 8 months ago, right?
Yep.
You took it, and you're here, you know? I bumped into 28-year-old people all the way up to 60, right, that have no idea that this social media is the state of the internet. Social media, like internet started in 95, right? It has matured. bam, now we kind of have a feeling of where the internet should be.
Yeah.
You with me?
No, I'm telling you, man, it's the wave of the future. I mean, whether I'm selling you a car or giving you advice, I'm still helping you in some way. And I can touch so many more people through my channel. Like on my YouTube channel right now, I've got people from over across the pond that are talking to me. I've created Facebook friends because of the videos I've done.
Yeah.
Like they just start talking to me and I'm like, wow, this is fantastic. You live in England? You know, and so we're talking and they still have the same issues, the same problems, the same circumstances. So I think, you know, opening my mind to talk to more people that way is I'm enjoying that a lot.
We had one question come in. Rosanna says all the strategies that we are sharing, me and Eddie too, it can be applied to purchasing single families and opening assisted living. Rosanna, I'm gonna get you on here. I would love to hear more about that. I kind of stayed away from it. I got a boy who does rooming houses.
Yeah.
City came after him with guns blazing. He had to hire an attorney, spent $100,000 to fight the city. You know, I just didn't want to deal with that.
Wow.
King Work, Ronnie, he wants to know how long did it take Miss Aloha? Hey, how long did it take each of you? How long did it take you to make constant income, Ronnie? Constant income where you can pay yourself enough to fully cover your expenses. Hey, he's right here in Hampton.
Wow, that's a great question, man. You know, so
shit, it took me. Whew, go ahead,
dude. I think, you know, so here's what you got to remember. Your dreams, the universe will challenge you. I mean, it will just keep knocking you down and knocking you down and knocking you down. And your living expenses, they change, you know? So you have to be very careful in the beginning when you're building the business. You have to be able to forecast the future and understand where you're going to be. And you also have to have real data. It can't just be dreams. I'm going to answer your question, but like, I'm trying to give you some solutions, you know? So like, understand what industry you're in. It's $100 billion industry. What market share can you capture physically? How much income can you generate? And does that fit your lifestyle? And can you grow it? Can you scale it? Can you see yourself doing it because you love it so much? Can you scale it? So to answer your question directly, it probably took me a decade before I was like, now my wife will sometimes say, I'll be like, oh, we got to do this. It's $1,000. And she's like, yeah, oh yeah, it's just 1,000, you know, it's like, okay, well, that's first world problems or whatever, you know, but it doesn't mean that I'm a baller. It doesn't mean that. It just means that your income and your things change over time, but you can really mess it up. So I hope I'm answering your question. So to be direct, I think about a decade before I was like, okay, I'm really feeling it. I can do this. Now I can even scale it more. But I'm able to pay the bills. I'm able to invest a little bit. I'm able to do things. But what I'm telling you is that we should do another video and go live and talk about the things that derail your dream, because having nice cars, having nice gold chains, you know, I used to have a Rolex. I used to have all these things, but they don't line up with the dream and the work, you know, and so those things will keep you broke. Cars will keep you broke, you know. And then, you know, Chris, for me, like it was 2014 when I bought my first rental. You know, I got a couple of them now, and I'm just now starting to see big time returns. You know, like, wow, I'm so happy I bought those places. I'm so happy we made that move when it was difficult to make that move. You know, and now it's like, oh, the lady missed rent 3 months. All right, call the property manager and see what we got to do. You know, yeah. Mortgage is still paid. So I hope that answers his question. What about you, Chris? Was it a decade for you?
Speaking of that rent, yeah, I think I got something in for you too. I'll talk to you about that after the air.
That's all good.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to forget it because it came in when I was out of town. For me, King Works, I was thinking the exact same thing. 10 freaking years.
Most people don't have the gumption or the ambition for that, dude. But hey, King Works. So I'll tell you, my secret is I didn't have any options, man. You know, I would love to tell you I was so driven and I knew that it was going to pay off. You know, all this bull crap you can read. I'm never going to write a book like that. I'm going to be like, guys, I dropped out of college. I went to the Army. Nobody would hire me. I'm unemployable because I like to do things on my own and create things. And I just kept believing in the one thing I will tell you I did is I believed in myself. I would look in the mirror and said, okay, Ronnie, you got that. And sometimes it was lie to myself. I'm like, you got this. It's gonna be a great day. And most of the time, just doing that, it would turn into a great day. So 10 years, man.
It took me 10 years. KingWorks, I was buying a bunch of houses. Shit, man, back in 04, 05, lost a whole lot of them. But I kept on, and I always said to myself, you know what? If I could just pay off one house, if I could just pay one off, I'll be doing so much better. So when that time came, years later, paid one off and paid another one. It kept going. But it's just like a plane taking off, KingWorks, I promise you. It's so hard getting that plane off the ground. But once you're up there, man, not to say me and my brother are like cruising in life, because we're still challenging. It is a little easier regarding cash flow issues. However, starting, even thinking about, I remember buying my first house was $100,000. I'm like, I literally accepted the fact that I would never pay it off, until years later I got educated. Now I'm paying off houses quicker. But real estate, I promise, by default, Ronnie, it's just, if you just buy the shit and wait, buy it and wait, it will pay off and you will get the cash flow. I mean, it's how it works.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. So yes, class, I got so much knowledge to share with you. I was at Ron LeGrand's Real Estate Summit last week. I'm going to bring a lot of that stuff to you, maybe tonight, depending on how I feel, or Monday. And my attorney, we're going to be talking about land trusts again, since the broadcast last week was bad. I'm going to have her back around 3 o'clock or 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. So don't miss that. I'm giving you a freaking attorney for free. You can ask questions. I mean, who else is doing that?
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, Lord.
Sandrika has a question. She's attending a Lee Arnold real estate event. Have you ever heard of him? He's providing $250,000 in pre-approvals. I've only heard of that one dude that I met here that went to a Kawasaki event and he ended up spending $30,000.
Yeah, all they're doing is giving you lines of credit. And Sandrika, if you get 250, you're walking in at 235, and you're walking into 15,000 of debt. So they're only giving you 235. You're already 15. You're walking in debt. So just make sure it does work, Sandrika. If you have a deal ready to go, like for instance, if you got a house you're ready to buy, you get the line of credit, you can take that money, flip it, get it right back in there to put it back. Yes, but you're walking into debt. So if the line of credit is 250, you're only getting 235 when you sign. So that means you're automatically signing your $15,000 in debt that second. You ready? So your monthly payments are starting. Everything's starting right now. So just keep that in mind.
So if you're only making $10,000 on the house, you're -5.
You're -5, but if you are, I don't know how savvy. Let's presume she's like a super savvy investor. She can flip it, put that 10 back. She's still making her monthly payments, so she might pull a whole 100 out, right? Her payments are 1,000 a month, so she's still down, but still she can get it all paid back quickly. So you borrow it,
okay,
put it back, borrow it, put it back, borrow it, put it back. But you have to be disciplined. You have to be a master investor to do this. You got to have a plan, because people get in there, they sign for this debt, they're paying on the debt 15,000, then they spend 10 on marketing, then they spend another 10 on some repair somewhere. Then next thing you know, that 30, you've been there. Well, I've been there when I had a home equity line of credit. You just 10, 1,000 here, 1,000, da, 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 da. Next thing you know, 20,000 in debt.
Yeah, quickly.
So, yeah, Sandrika, I don't know your skill level I cannot comment on that. I'm holding my tongue back a lot as I'm learning how to interact with people, because I don't want to put that on. I don't want to endorse that lifestyle.
Well, like we talked about this, guys. Like, Chris, it's not that we don't want to say. I hate talking about things we can't do and being negative. It's like, hey, like you said to me, you were like, Ronnie, teach somebody how to do what you're doing. I'm like, well, they need $250,000 of liquid money. They need a building. They need this. They need that. They need auction access. That's not my issue. It's just I can sit here and tell you can't do it. But okay, if you're gonna do it, this is how you need to do it. And you just did that. And so that's fantastic. So if they go out and do it, she should be successful.
You're right, absolutely. But the thing is, we don't know each person's situation. All we can do is tell them our experiences, brother. That's all I can do.
Yeah, and try not to be, and I just got to try not to be negative about it. Like, it's going to be really hard, like, it's like, okay.
Yeah, because what's hard for you could be a piece of cake for me, and vice versa.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
I promise you, dude, when I cut this camera, Ronnie, I talk to every person you see me interview, I talk to 10 or 20 that have told me I can't do it. I just want you to know that. Like every one you see, I've talked to like I've already talked to 4 or 5 today.
Wow.
When they cut the camera on, they just, for some reason, they're like, I just can't do it, So
Okay. Well, I hope that helped you, Sandrika.
yeah, class. Subscribe to my channel, like the content, and my brother's channel as well. You're doing well. One day we're gonna have the Haskins Network where you can just come on and throw ideas on. I love it, Ronnie.
Awesome, man. Sounds good. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Love it. Bye, class. See you shortly.